Yo, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm excited to do another live presentation, which is actually, this is my 10th presentation of 2023, and I'm stoked. Busy, a lot of presentations. This is my niche. I love doing this. So welcome everyone. This is going to be a very fun and exciting presentation. We're going to dive deep into the sacred element of water, which is the essence of life. And a lot of people have misconceptions of what water is and how to utilize it. And it's also one of the biggest components in the war against humanity and the agenda against nature. So, checking out, making sure all my platforms are going live. We are good to go. How's everyone doing? Water, real quick, a little anecdote experience. My whole journey of higher awareness started pretty much with water. Looking for modalities to heal myself. I came across water, and this was about 10 years ago, and I came across the ionized hydrogen water, which had me focus on what hydrogen is, and then gave me a broader look of the actual element of water, and then diving deep into all the elements, which essentially led me into occultism, the hidden knowledge of nature and ourselves. So this presentation is going to dive deep into this. So good to see everyone on here, and let's get into it. All right, so the title of my presentation is The Spirit of Water. I initially gave this presentation to a private group. It was a private conference, the STE Academy. Had a really good response. I love that group of people. I've done many presentations for them. Fantastic response. So now I'm happy to present this publicly. And so shout out to Madeline and Dale for the STE conference. So the Spirit of Water. Let's go through some caveats. Welcome to a journey that explores the essence of life, the silent force that sustains our planet, the spirit of water. In the fluidity of its existence, water whispers stories of resilience, adaptation, and renewal. Join me as we dive into the profound depths of this elemental spirit, discovering not only the physical currents that shape our world, but also the metaphysical currents that connect us to the very source of life itself. Today, we will embark on a reflective exploration of the spirit of water, a timeless force that teaches us profound lessons about the fluid nature of our own existence. So, first caveat, drink from the Pierian spring. A little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or taste not the Pierian spring. Their shallow draughts intoxicate the brain, and drinking largely sobers us again. This is a passage from the essay on criticism of Alexander Pope in ancient Mesopotamia in Greece, ancient Greece. So this passage emphasizes the idea that superficial knowledge or a shallow draught can be misleading and even dangerous. Instead, one should delve deeply into the Pierian spring of knowledge to gain a true and comprehensive understanding. This applies to every category of knowledge, right? Especially in this day and age where people get little sound bites of information and then they think they have a grasp on what the concept or topic is. Water is no different. There's many, over the years, there's some really great work of water researchers and just, educators that explore the dynamics of water, but yet are not getting down to the causal level, right? Description is not explanation. So although they're describing the effects of water, getting down to how and explaining simply how it actually functions, how it actually works, and what does this mean to humanity and all life. So this is also implying the trivium method of truth discovery, right? Gathering an extensive amount of grammar, putting that together, understanding it, and then coming out with your conclusion or your rhetoric. So this first category, the first chapter, I'm calling the physical shallows. This is the exoteric information, right? The information about water that the majority of people know, mainstream Western medicine and the education system. This is kind of what they focus on. And we're going to slowly dive into the more esoteric and metaphysical as well. So what is water? Water is a chemical substance with the chemical formula H2O, which means it is comprised of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. It is one of the most essential and abundant compounds on Earth and plays a fundamental role in various biological, chemical, and physical processes. Water is a unique substance due to its properties, including 1, it's a universal solvent. Water is often referred to as the universal solvent because it has a high capacity to dissolve a wide range of substances. This property is crucial for various chemical and biological processes. It has a high heat capacity. Water has a relatively high heat capacity, which means that it can absorb and store in a significant amount of heat without a drastic change in temperature. This property helps regulate Earth's climate and is essential for living organisms like human beings. It has a high surface tension. Water exhibits high surface tension, allowing some insects like water striders to walk on its surface. Also, you jump off a high bridge, it's like hitting concrete. So, liquid, it's solid, liquid, and gas phases. Water exists in all 3 common phases on Earth: solid, ice, liquid, water, and gas, water vapor, depending on its temperature, pressure, and conditions. And we're also going to talk about a 4th phase as well. So it has dipolarity. Water molecules are polar, with a partial positive charge on the hydrogen atoms and a partial negative charge on the oxygen atoms. This property leads to hydrogen bonding between water molecules, which influences its physical and chemical properties. We will dive a little deeper on this as well. So water also displays several anomalies, behaviors, such as its density increases as it transitions from a liquid to a solid, which is opposite to most substances. This anomaly is why ice floats on water. So water is essential for life as we know it, and it is a critical, important component of living cells and is involved in numerous biological reactions. It also plays a crucial role in shaping Earth's geological and climate through processes like erosion, weathering, and the water cycles. Water is necessary for the survival of all life forms on our planet, making it one of the most precious resources. Water is amazing. It's definitely one of a kind as far as the elements go. So here are the 3 common phases of water, right? Solid, liquid, gas. Now, there is a 4th phase that we're going to dive into in a little bit later on, but keep in mind that these 3 phases, they are not separate. They're all water. Right? So water, having these phases makes it extremely unique and one of a kind. So the human vessel, obviously we come into this incarnation enveloped into water in the womb, right? The fetus and the baby is almost 100% water. And as we age throughout life, the water starts to deplete and we get old and oxidized and wrinkly, right? So depending on your hydration and your health in general, the water in your body can vary. But on average, 72 to 78%, right? Brain 70, lungs 90, blood 82, skin 80, muscles 75, and bones 22. Here's an alchemical saying, the aquarium of the wise, which represents a vessel or container holding the transformative waters of alchemy. This container is where the processes of transformation and transmutation take place. So now I'm going to talk about the problem in the natural world with humanity. So humanity's dis-ease. The condition or quality of water is a direct reflection of humanity's spiritual condition. Humanity is entrenched in a scarcity mindset or lack of harmony with nature. A lot of people that follow my work understand that I talk about this, the opposition to nature. Water is a part of objective reality. Yes, if you're new to my work and you haven't heard this term before, we live in an objective reality, meaning that it is not based upon your perception, right? We do not individually create reality. We are in a shared reality, and we each individually influence our environment and reality. And we are co-creating the human experience in its collective. So when we look at the world today and understand that, yes, we are in a spiritual war. There is a control mechanism, right? The social engineers that are manipulating and influence humanity's perception to manage behaviors of humanity, right? And this is due because there's a power differential, because there's a knowledge differential, meaning that humanity does not have the knowledge. They lack the knowledge. They're ignorant to objective reality, truth, and nature herself. Right? Water is no different. Water is one of the main components. It is the main component as far as on the elemental scale, because we are comprised of water, and water is a direct reflection. So looking at these pictures, we see this is, a common piping system in homes and buildings that we're going to dive into. And most people are still drinking tap water, which is extremely unhealthy, right? I mean, there's poisons in the tap water themselves. So the way we treat water is reflective of our mental state and our spiritual condition. So the information, trauma, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and the energy of disharmony and opposition is carried and reflected throughout the waters of our homes, schools, communities, land, and within ourselves, right? This is one of the main characteristics of water, is that it is reflective. So, understanding that the lack of knowledge of water itself has a huge impact on our physical vessel, our mental state, our emotional stability, and how we're interacting with water in our homes, in the infrastructure, there's a direct correlation there. So we're going to get into why this is, right? We're going to go a little deeper. The metaphysical abyss. So let's lay some groundwork, right? Water is an element, right? The elements, this is the elementary of reality, the elementary information or layer. The elements, earth, water, air, fire, and ether, are at the very foundations of life. They represent the energetic forces that exist behind all forms, the primal plays shaping creation. The elements in nature concretely represent a subtler and more fundamental discrimination of 5 aspects of the primordial energy of existence. There is nothing in any dimension that is not comprised wholly of the interaction of these 5 aspects of energy. The elemental processes create the universe, sustain it, and ultimately destroy it. This is also true for the individual beings. At birth, the play of the elements create the body, mind, personality. At death, these dissolve as the elements collapse into one another. And during the whole life, the individual relationship to the elements determine the quality of experience. So this is profound. When you get into the realm of occultism and esoteric studies and alchemy, you understand, you get the very surface level of the elements. But understanding that these are characteristics of energy, right? So they each have their own qualities and characteristics that coincide and correspond to our psychology, our physical vessel, the natural world, and how we interact. If we don't have this information and this knowledge, then we are really operating blind, in a sense, on nature and reality and the quality of our life experience. So let's talk about the element of water. Here are some of the characteristics. Water is a feminine force. Intuition, inward, feelings, emotional, perception, sensitive, passive, beginnings, balance, subconscious, healing, and transformation, right? We can do hours and hours of a presentation on the characteristics alone. I'm going to run through some of these so we can kind of get down to the heart of the matter. In the tarot tradition, it represents the cups or the hangman or the moon. The direction is west. Astrological, it's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It's also Mercury, the moon, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn. Season in the day, it's autumn and dusk. Energy, yin, feminine. Metals, copper, silver. The chakra is the sacral. Colors, aqua, blue, black, silver, violet, white. Numbers 2 and 4. Ritual tools, the cauldron, the chalice or cup. Plants, aloe, aster, lemon balm, spearmint. From the sea, coral, pearl. Gems and minerals, amethyst, blue agate, sapphire, tourmaline, quartz, fluorite. So these are all of these types of characteristics we can observe in the natural world. We can see that that aloe is very wet, right? It has a lot of water in it. It's hydrating. So it has these characteristics and these attributes that symbolize and represent water itself. And again, all through the elements, right? Fire, you have plants that have a drying effect, right? Or a spice. So the alchemical waters. Water has been a subject of fascination, symbolism, and mysticism in various cultures and traditions throughout history. Purification. Water is often seen as purifying element in many spiritual and religious traditions. Rituals involving water are used to cleanse the soul and remove impurities. Renewal and rebirth. Water is associated with renewal and rebirth due to its role in the natural water cycle. Rainfall nourishes the earth, replenishes water sources, and supports life, symbolizing new beginnings and fresh starts. Emotional and spiritual cleansing. Water is often connected with the emotional and spiritual cleansing. Taking a bath, swimming, or being near a body of water can be seen as ways to wash away negative energies and emotions. Antidote. The water in our bodies moves particulates and moves energy throughout the body. And that also is flow and adaptability. Water's fluidity and adaptability has led to its association with adaptability, flexibility, and the ability to navigate life's challenges. The saying, go with the flow, reflects this idea. Intuition and emotions. Water is linked to emotions, intuition, and the subconscious mind. It's seen as a symbol of the depth and mystery of human emotions and is often used to represent the hidden aspects of the psyche. We talk about the shadow work and going deep within the subconscious mind. You're going deep within the water element. That feminine aspect that's internal within our psyche. Bringing it to the surface, integrating it, and applying it to your behavior. That is the masculine aspect. Mystical water. Connection to the divine. In various mythologies and spiritual beliefs, water is seen as a conduit to the divine or as a sacred element. Bodies of water, such as rivers, lakes, are often considered holy or inhibited by water spirits or deities. We look at the ancient oracles, like the Oracle of Delphi, right? The oracles of ancient Greece and many other cultures would submerge themselves under the water, right? To receive the information, the downloads for prophecy or for whatever it was. Also in the pyramids in ancient Egypt, there was these tubs made out of mineral stone that theorized that they would lay in, submerge their body, potentially for either a out-of-body experience, an astral travel, or for a downloading or receiving information as well. Reflective properties. Bodies of water, like mirrors, are often seen as reflecting one's inner self. Gazing into water can be a meditative practice, allowing individuals to contemplate their thoughts and feelings. Emotional healing. Water has a soothing and healing effect on emotions and stress. The sound of water flowing water, like waves or a babbling brook, can be calming, and it is used for relaxation and meditation. I'm sure many people have used water sounds to relax themselves or to relax a child. Breathing in the ocean air as well. The ions from the ocean, the water, have huge therapeutic benefits. So, the universal solvent. In esoteric alchemy, water symbolizes the transformative and purifying aspects of the alchemical process. It is associated with the principle of dissolution, where solid structures break down to their fundamental components, allowing for spiritual and material rebirth. Water is a symbol of the subconscious, emotions, and intuitive realm in an alchemical traditions. Alchemists use water as a metaphor for the transformative power that dissolves impurities, leading to a process of purification and regeneration. It's a key element in the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment and the transformation of the soul. Many religious traditions, right? Christianity, there's baptism. They use water as well, signifying purification and rebirth. So, turning the tide. Now we're going to get into the explanation of water. Why does water act a certain way? Why does it have its key components that are so vital to life? Why is it the essence of life? This is something that very few people talk about. And again, it can get extremely deep, and my whole motto with all my work is simplify the profound. So, water has a perfect geometry. Now, when you look at in the middle, you can see the oxygen and the two hydrogens. The Pythagoreans, this symbol that I'm about to explain, for them it was harmony. It was perfection. The water molecule is the triangle, which is the most stable structure. It's the 108, 36, 36 Pythagorean triangle. When you triplicate it, you make the pentagram. This is where the pentagram comes from. Later on, associated with the other elements in traditions like Wicca. But the perfect harmonic geometry has a purpose. And this purpose we're going to dive into. So this is the only substance or molecule that has a perfect geometry to it, right? It's the triangle. So having this perfect harmonic geometry allows spirit and matter to come together and manifest, right? So there are three aspects for consciousness to manifest in reality: spirit, matter, and water. Water is the interconnecting median for the manifestation of all life, by which spirit and matter join in union to express holographic consciousness, or a reflection of the macrocosm, creator, to the microcosm, creation. So the triangle, if we look at, let's go back to the centerpiece, right? The triangle. But that's also reflective of another piece of technology that we have used many times. Nikola Tesla dives into this. The water molecule is a dipole antenna. If you remember, I don't know how old the viewers are, right? I'm in my 40s, so if you wanted to get a better signal on your TV, you would have a dipole antenna either on top of your house or on a hill or on your front yard, right? It was the inverted V. That is to capture, to receive the signal. The water molecule is a dipole antenna. It is the intermediary for spirit and matter to unite and manifest. This is why water is in all life. It's the key component, right? So we look at the torus field on the right. The torus is a dipole. It is also a dipole. So the reason why the Pythagoreans said that the isosceles triangle, the 108, 36, 36, was perfection is because it is perfect geometry. It gives life. It manifests holographic consciousness into manifestation. So it allows spirit and matter to manifest. So here's an analogy. Again, we're going to simplify the profound. Again, this is just an analogy, right? So this will help kind of explain the human vessel and water and their relation. So the radio itself is the human vessel, right? We can see at the top that there is the antenna, right? Old school radios, they used to have the inverted V, but you could flip it upside down. You still get the same modality. You are receiving a signal, right? So the water is the antenna for the radio or for the human vessel, right? The signal is source consciousness. The signal is all around us, right? Water allows for the individualization of the monad, the single unit of consciousness, to access information that is all around us, right? So the radio is the human body. The condition of the radio or human body is the condition of the human being, right? Of the human vessel, and also the clarity of signal. All radios work the same, right? They function the same, but yet you can only, on certain radios, you can only tune into certain stations or pick up certain frequencies. It all depends on the gain of the radio and how strong the radio is. So we can see that the receiver, the dials, the gain, brain, and heart, the broadcast is the quality of our experience, how we are acting in the world, right? How I am acting in the world is the broadcast from the information that I am picking up, that I am taking in, integrating, and activating, right? So when we think about humanity's dis-ease, where water is weaponized, water is being treated poorly, right? What does this do to the signal of the human vessel? It muddies the signal, right? So if our human vessel, the waters inside us, are at a low condition, well, then we are not going to be receiving the information all around us, which is the ether, right? Or as Dr. Rupert Sheldrake called it, the morphogenic field, the field of consciousness that is all around us, right? So that signal will be muddied. So when we are at a high frequency, right, we are vibrating, we are receiving the signal and interpreting the signal clearly. The gain is high. So we are in alignment. We are tapped in with the signal. So this is an analogy to kind of simplify it, what the importance of water is. Water is the median. It's the antenna, the dipole antenna, where we are able to receive information in our local environment, but also on the macro of source consciousness, the all, supreme intelligent design or mind, whatever you want to call it, right? So, does water have memory? Here's some good researchers like Masaru Emoto. Water has a memory and carries within it our thoughts, prayers, and prayers. As you yourself are water, no matter where you are, your prayers will be carried to the rest of the world. And the second quote, water has memory. Depending on how you treat it, what kind of thoughts and emotions you generate, accordingly, it behaves in your body. Now, they are actually incorrect in a sense. Water does not have memory. Water allows for the reception of information or memory. The information in the memory is in the ether. It's in the field of information, the field of consciousness that's all around us and within us as well, right? Water is the bridge, is the mediator. The memory and information is not in the oxygen or the hydrogen molecule. It is in the harmonic geometric structure itself that is acting as the antenna to receive the information and transfer the information. Right? So, slight difference. They are correct, but how they are coming to their actual cause is incorrect. Now, the picture on the right, you can see that water is reflective. So it is reflecting the information from the ether externally. Internal, external. We can see with frequencies and words and thought patterns, compassion, thank you, wisdom. They form when they crystallize in the crystalline structure, right? In the phase of the solid, they are showing these geometrical patterns. Okay. Now remember, the The dipole antenna is in the molecule, the structure itself. And then we see, I will kill you, you fool. All these lower frequencies have the water molecule is reflecting this type of frequency and information. So memory is not in the water. It is not stored in the hydrogen or oxygen molecules, but yet functions and responds as if it does carry memory. How? Water gives access to the ether or morphogenic field of holographic consciousness. This is a response to energy, frequency, and vibration because, because it is the antenna. It is the bridge of spirit and matter. That is the cause. Hydroglyphs. Veda Austin, another great water researcher, does a lot of work in this field. So again, Emoto, Veda Austin, a lot of these other researchers, Victor Schauberger, right? They are correct in explaining the effects of water. Effects. And I haven't found much of actually diving into the cause of the dipole harmonic aspect in these researches as well. So water is a carrier of information and can reflect this information of energy when it is frozen in a solid state. So check out her work. She's got fantastic work. She calls these hydroglyphs, which I actually like that name. So the fourth phase of water is called and known as structured water. So water molecules can be organized or structured in a specific way through various methods, such as a vortex motion, magnets, or special containers. These methods are claimed to align or organize water molecules into a more ordered arrangement, which can lead to improved absorption and hydration at the cellular level, increased electrical conductivity. Structured water is bringing that dipole geometrical shape into alignment, right? So you're actually forming the pentagram itself. The signal becomes more clear when it is organized, when it is in its natural state, as the Pythagoreans called perfect harmony. So the fourth phase of water, our ancient ancestors, right? They did not drink unstructured water. They received highly charged structured water via fruits, veggies, springs, waterfalls, rain, active rivers, and streams. Structured water is an optimum source of health, bioavailability, antioxidation, energy, and overall function of the human being. Our ancient ancestors absolutely were in more harmony with nature and the rhythm of life, the flow of life, right? So even, farming and this kind of stuff was done in a natural modality, mimicking nature herself, because nature is perfect order, right? So, of course, they drank structured water. Now, how is humanity doing in this aspects of water in general, in our infrastructure, the water we drink, etc., right? Bottled water. I mean, anything coming out of a plastic container, absolutely, you are taking in microplastics, which are endocrine blockers, and it's not, the water is not charged or alive, so to say. So there's two categories that I want to touch on: quantitative versus qualitative. Keep these in mind with water, right? The water you consume, the water you interact with, right? So quantitative means quantity. Quantity is the amount of TDS, or total dissolved solids, within the water contents, right? So when you get a bottled water and it says filtered or purified water, it is what they mean by clean water. They mean that it is quantitatively pure, meaning that the total dissolved solids are at a low count. If you run your water through a filtration system like reverse osmosis, which I highly recommend, you will have pure, clean, quantitative water. That does not equate to qualitative. Qualitative, or quality, of the water is dependent upon its structure or electrical magnetic composition. This is where we get into structured water. Now, here's a big misconception. People think that you can put a straw in your cup and spin it, 1,000 times and you have structured water, or run it down a short length tube spiraling and you have structured water. The water has flowed in its natural state, but that does not mean that it's highly structured or therapeutic. You have to keep in mind waterfalls, active rivers, the distillation process of rain. These are all highly magnetically charged. There is magnetism involved at a high level, right? The water is grounded from the earth. So the magnetism is huge. I will show you in the next slide what a real effective therapeutic water structure will entail. Okay, so when we think about our water, is our water quantitatively clean and qualitatively pure? These two aspects. In society, absolutely not. In society, the majority of people, definitely not qualitative, and quantitative is not even at that level, right? I mean, when you take a shower, the skin itself absorbs a huge portion of your water intake. So chlorine, fluoride, lead, pharmaceuticals, right? Remember that if water is reflective of the energy from the ether, the pharmaceuticals, the energy, the trauma, the hate, the pain of humanity, the suffering, the dis-ease is traveling through this water as well. So when you filter your water, sure, you're taking the particulates out, which is great. You want that, right? But you're still getting the information, the energetic component that is reflective of the water. So it is not qualitatively pure. So turning the tide. Now, here are some solutions that, again, some people can, afford. Some people can make themselves. It is absolutely doable. You just got to put a little time and attention in. One thing that I'm not showing on here is, which, with the whole green agenda, they have hydrogen-powered vehicles, right? The fantastic researcher Victor Schauberger, he made so many technological advances in agriculture, in how we transport water, even water that can be used as a home water system as well, right? And they do have structured water home systems as well. They're expensive, right? But you can make these yourselves with copper piping and obviously understanding the geometrical pattern that needs to be involved of the vortex itself, the toroidal. This is the golden ratio, right? This is the geometry of the universe. So on the left right here, hydrogen therapy. This is where I started my journey about 10 years ago, is getting into molecular hydrogen and what it is. There is no stronger, more effective therapeutic modality than using molecular hydrogen gas, H2. Hydrogen is the most abundant and the smallest molecule on the periodic table, right? So it goes through everything. Everything in the universe needs hydrogen for life. So breathing in molecular hydrogen has a profound, it's the strongest antioxidant. Again, I could do a whole presentation on this. You could see the device on the left is actually a Kangen machine, which a Kangen machine does use a process of electrolysis, which infuses or bubbles the water, and it infuses the H2 gas in the water so you can drink it. Let me repeat, the benefit is within the H2 gas. It is the H2 itself. It is not the alkalinity. This is another misconception. You can do your research. You can go on PubMed. You can find alkaline water has very little to none therapeutic benefit. When you're using something like a water ionizer, it is the H2. It is the hydrogen gas that has the therapeutic benefit, with that molecule getting down to the cellular level and destroying free radicals and aiding in cell death, apoptosis, or longevity of cells as well. So huge category, huge health benefit. I highly recommend people do their research and look into this. You can go to the MHI, molecularhydrogeninstitute.com, to check that out. Moving on. So that was for optimum healing and performance. Moving to the quantitatively pure section, right? We have filtration and distillation. Distillation is fantastic. This is nature's filtration modality, right? We have rain. Water is evaporated through the element of fire from the sun, heat, and then it is distilled and then rains back down, which is it also structured water. Rain is. Now, again, in the day and age that we live, we're in war, ladies and gentlemen, with geoengineering and aerosol sprays. Absolutely. A lot more footwork and education needs to be done on the individual, and you have to do what you can, right? So collecting rainwater, depending on what area you are, is either going to be a good idea or a not so good idea. Distilling water, I'm a high proponent of that. That's how you get absolutely quantitatively pure water. You can use a home filtration system or an RO system under the sink. There are also ways to add the magnetic feature so the water is properly structured to a home filtration system as well. Now, let me take a sip of my tea infused with molecular hydrogen gas water. The picture on the right, this is not mine. This is Ken Wheeler's home water structure device. And absolutely, I've done many prototypes of this. That's about an $800 neodymium magnet, which he has copper wire. I think it's about 8 to 10 feet, wrapped around on the central fugal top and bottom, which is where the magnetism is, right? The middle of the magnet is the plane of inertia. That's not where the magnetism is, so you want to do it on the edge, the central fugal. He has got that wrapped around 4 times, top going to bottom. This is the strongest, most powerful man-made water structure device, right? You are incorporating the magnetic with magnetism. The water needs to be charged. You are essentially clearing the information off the water, and then you're taking it in, right? Then you can apply thought forms and energy to the water as well. And again, it is reflective. So filtration, then running it through a correct water structure device where it's magnetically structured. This is how you get qualitatively pure water. So it's both. It's quantitatively and qualitatively pure is how you want your water as well. So, as above, so below, as within, so without. A lot of people forget that last part, right? A lot of people talk about the as above, so below. Absolutely. But the as within, so without as within as well. It's the principle and law of correspondence in natural law, right? Which is a law in objective reality. The spirit of water is you. A reflection of the great universal spirit, the monad, or the fractal of consciousness. The spirit of water is where you are at in the present flow of your journey of life. It is the totality of your experience, the infinite possibility and potential, and the essa, which is essence of vitality and life. Simply put, it is your personal relationship with the anima mundi, or the soul of the world. As you heal, we all heal. This is what the spirit of water is. The spirit of water is a representation of the law of correspondence, right? Water itself is matter. It is reflective. So as we can learn a great deal about ourselves by understanding what water is, we can also heal ourselves. And when you heal yourself, you're adding to our shared reality, experience, and we all heal. So this is what water is trying to communicate. The element of water is communicating that it is up to you and your personal responsibility and accountability to be grateful for this opportunity to come here, to experience, to learn, to grow, to evolve in consciousness and syntropy, or not, but to understand that we are all one. And we are here to fight this war and to succeed eventually. That is our goal. This is what water is communicating. Just as water is reflecting the macro to the micro, it's also reflecting the individual to the whole. Like Bruce Lee said, be like water, my friend. It's important to know that holographic consciousness is flowing in every moment of life, which is you. You are the fractal of the whole. So you're either going to become stagnant, like the water systems and the infrastructure that we have in society, or you're going to flow in the rivers of creation and evolution. Either way, this experience will come to an end, and we will transmigrate to the next level. And the moral wisdom of syntropy or entropy, meaning moral wisdom or immoral wisdom, your action towards truth and freedom, or your inaction to truth or freedom, will be carried with you. Just like a drop of water reflects the ocean and all water in the world. It's one and the same. So the choice is up to you. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my presentation. I hope I shared some good insight, mainly on the cause of how water functions, that it is the bridge between for spirit and matter, for consciousness to manifest itself. There's so many topics that I could dive deeper into, but I would like to take some questions. If anyone has any questions. Again, I'm doing this presentation, so it was hard. I couldn't really follow the chat. So let's pull this chat up and see what we got. Let's go solo. Solo Cam. Thank you guys for your time and attention. Daryl. Misty. Sir Digby. Hello. Peaceful Penguin. What's up? Daryl says, yeah, Enki, yeah, the god of water. According to Bill Donahue. Bill Donahue, fantastic researcher and occultist. Translates to John in the English language as in John the Baptist, the man of water. Yeah, you know, I mean, just look at man's law, right? It's admiralty, maritime law. It is the element of water. This is their way of communicating the system of control that they have as well. There's so many correlations in many religious traditions and mystery traditions as well. But yeah, John the Baptist, man of water. What's up, Jay? Dang, that's mind-blowing. Yeah, man, right on. Jason, what's up? Okay, this makes so much sense. Awesomeness. What's up, Theo? Good seeing you, brother. Sarah Cross, hello. Thanks for joining. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments of some of this information. You know, our presentation, I wanted to definitely hit strong on some solutions, qualitatively, quantitatively. And, you know, there's a lot of, there's, you know, another portion to it is that there's, you know, especially in this day and age, there's people selling all kinds of shit everywhere. You know, get this, get that, get this. It'll help you. It's therapeutic. But it's if you have discernment and knowledge of the cause of something, then it's easier to discern and filter information on certain choices that you might have, especially like water filtration and healing modalities as well. But, you know, this type of information is absolutely occulted. They do not want people to understand the Pythagorean knowledge of the pentagram and what it actually is, and that this harmonic resonance and frequency can be used on all different types of modalities as well. Again, I'm going to do a presentation on all of the elements, and then and how they all come together, and they are the ether itself, this field of information. So better late than never. Have you used the mineral shungite and water? I've never seen it, but firsthand of a couple years ago from a short video by Melissa. I know Melissa. She's great. Yes, I have. I've worked with many different types of shungite. And what I've found in my research as well is that shungite does not have the claimed energy release that most people think it does, right? Selenite actually has tenfold of, as far as applying it to structured water, than shungite does. So you can do some research on there and see the effects of shungite with EMF protection and dispelling radiation as well. The best, by far, hands down, and there's studies, and, you know, take for what peer reviewed, take that for what it is, right? But looking at that's why I wanted to talk about hydrogen. Hydrogen hydrogen gas infused in water, or the best modality is breathing the gas with an inhalation machine. This is by far, hands down, the best way to combat EMFs and radiation itself. In Chernobyl, they used to, from the radiation, they used to use electrolysis. So they would take a car battery and they would shock the water, and then they would drink the water, because when you shock the water, it bubbles the water, and you essentially have molecular hydrogen gas, and they would drink the water because hydrogen can destroy and eliminate the free radicals of the radiation. And it also it aids in cell life. So that's the best way to do it. But I like shungite. Shungite. It's a great crystal. There are better ones like selenite for sure. I can't think of the researcher or the channel off the top of my head where he actually is measuring the frequency output of the crystals and minerals, and he shows that that shungite was barely registering, but the selenite app was registering quite high, highest of the batch that he was doing. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. Always appreciate your support. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Excellent logo that you have, Sarah Cross. That's beautiful. Absolutely, it is a process of taking in the information and contemplating on it and applying introspection. And, my whole motto with all my work is simplify the profound. So that's what I like to do, is to take the occultism, the knowledge that I've gained thus far, and simplify it down so I can explain it to my 10-year-old daughter. If she can get it, anyone can get it, right? So, and this is what we need, because we've strayed so far. Humanity is so far in opposition to nature that, a lot of this information needs to be simplified for people to understand. And the knowledge of the elements is absolutely the elementary level that we need to understand for ourselves and nature and how nature operates. Excellent. Beautiful. I love hearing it. I love hearing that. That is excellent. Water under the bridge, right? It's another saying. Theo says, is there a solution for water purification while traveling? What would you drink if you are abroad, especially? Oh, man, great question. So, yeah, I mean, again, you have to kind of make do. This is my travel buddy right here. Now, the water that I put in here is distilled. I'm a huge proponent on distilled water. There's so much incorrect information on distilled water. Oh, if you drink distilled water, it's going to strip the minerals from your body. You have to, sure, you can add minerals, right? You're supposed to get the minerals from the food that you intake, or if you have access to a spring, you can get minerals that way as well. But you want your water clean, quantitatively and qualitatively. So distilled water I use in this. This is a to-go, on-the-go water ionizer. So when I turn it on, I don't know if you guys can see it. See the bubbles? That's hydrogen gas. It's using PEM technology, which is proton exchange membrane. slightly different form of electrolysis, and it is bubbling hydrogen gas in the water, which is also structured, and I could take this on the go and drink this as well. This is called an Echo Go. There's a lot of products out there. I know this company personally. It is great. So that's a good. They also have kind of travel inhalation machines. So when you're the natural and the main modality of hydrogen gas is to breathe it, because it is a gas. This is also when I was talking about the ocean or a waterfall. The water spray is very highly charged and ionized that you're taking in, but they have travel machines that you can bring with you. But if you're simply on the go, distilled water would be the best. They have it's the company that makes Life Straw. So there's all types of on the go water bottles that will filter the water. I can't bring it up here. I should have took a picture of it. I'll post a picture of a mini magnetic water structure device. The one in the picture that I showed you, Ken is using a huge neodymium magnet, right? I have one where it's a 2 by 2 by 1, so 2 wide, 2 long, 1 inch thick, and I've wrapped copper coil. It's about this big, and it's got a funnel on the top. I'm able to pour the water. Now the water goes in its natural flow of the vortex around the magnetic circumference of the top and bottom, and now it's highly structured, and it funnels into a water bottle, which a water bottle, never use plastic. Glass only. When you're drinking water, especially on the go, glass only. 100%. So yeah, those are some leads for you on the go. When I'm traveling, I I usually prepare that brown glass jug. That's a gallon. So I prepare that and I take that with me. Here's another misconception on water and health. Sipping water throughout the day is actually extremely unhealthy. When you drink water, your water will need salt to the brain to absorb it. When you are sipping it, right, it's constantly depleting the salt in the brain and in the body. It's better to drink in big chugs in just a few amount of times throughout the day. So, I drink probably 8 times a day, but when I drink, I chug, 3 or 4 big gulps. My dog's not doing too well in the background. Yeah, man, you're welcome. I made one once for an old truck, but I never thought about breathing in the hydrogen. Yes, Daryl, nowadays you have to do some digging and do some research, but you can easily convert your vehicle into a hydrogen-powered vehicle, right? Where that is a process of electrolysis is what you're building. You're building the electrolysis. You need to add some baking soda, 2 mason jars. Obviously, there's a small process that you need to do on the Cadillac converter, and then it's injected by the hydrogen, and the exhaust is oxygen itself. Of course, they're coming out with hydrogen-powered vehicles nowadays. But just using the energy of hydrogen in society. We've had this technology for many, many years. It has been occulted because they want to keep people in that scarcity mindset, right? Oh, drinkable water is few and far between. So you need to get water from the state or the corporations, right? The bottled waters, which, keep in mind, all water, when it's flushed or you shower, when it comes out of the sink, it's just recycled. It's recycled toilet water. It goes to the water municipal facility, and it's run through, 10 high-powered filters, and then it's right back into your homes. So the water that you're showering in and that you are, washing your dishes, it's filtered toilet water. They keep reusing the same water. Now think about that on an energetic, reflective information standpoint, right? Where the water is reflecting the information. Absolutely, you're taking in all the trauma and the pain from everyone, from the collective or your local area, so to say. Water, a filter on your shower. There's structured devices that have the vortex, right? The curved vortex. This is the natural flow of water. It's the natural flow of a woman. A woman likes to flow and dance and move. So you got to treat your water like your love. Water, that's why I call water my first love. So they have water structured devices. You can take a vortex tubed copper pipe that's going into your shower, and you can actually add the neodymium magnets to it. Again, the key for it to be highly structured and effective is the magnetism. Thank you, Sarah. She says, have you heard about the scientist who was doing studies on water showing how our energy using love or hate changes the shape of the molecules? Yes, yeah, absolutely. I touched on him. Hamoto was one. There's also another guy. There was another study where they sent information from one facility to another facility one was in, I think, in the U.S., and the other facility was in the U.K., and they were able to. There's actually a documentary on it. It's escaping my mind right now, but that's another example of they're saying, look, yes, we've proved that water can store memory or information. So yes, it can, but it's doing that from the ether itself, which is the field of information that's all around us, right? The supreme mind, the intelligent mind that is all around us. That's how the water's able to do that. So yeah, there's definitely some great researchers on that. And again, like I said, what's the main characteristic of water? It's reflective. So how you treat water, it's reflecting back onto you. How you treat yourself is reflected onto how you behave and act in the world. Victor Schauberger is another researcher that should highly be checked out. Let me see if I can find the name of that guy. I think he might have been French. Let me see. I think I got it right here. Nope, guess I didn't. Yeah, you can do a search on any of the video platforms and find it. But it was a documentary. It was very much Western scientifically protocol. That they were able to do this and show that water absolutely can reflect information from one area to another. And it's reflective of all of us and everything. All life is connected, right? So this is why, going back to the anima mundi, which is living nature, this is what it means, that we're all connected. Absolutely important to do our work ourselves. Thank you. Appreciate all the compliments. This was going to be my first presentation streaming to Instagram, and Instagram glitched out on me and I couldn't change my stream key, so it didn't go live there. But from now on, I will be streaming live to Instagram as well. And again, people can go to my website, willkeller.com. I got all my presentations up there. I got the podcasts up there. If anyone is kind and inclined to donate to the cause of my creative expression, my work of spreading and conveying truth and freedom and nature, natural law to the masses, to hope to inspire them to jump on this battlefield, you can do that at willkeller.com. Get the banner up there. Let's see. Daryl says, I seen a woman once in a video asking, where is the expiration date on this water? It's all a billion years. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's a billion years old. It's timeless, right? Water absolutely is timeless. You know, another interesting point is that when we die, we actually lose body weight. And it's in the form of water. This has been documented and, and recorded that when someone dies, there is a loss in body weight, which is water. Meaning that, again, if water is the bridge of spirit and matter, then absolutely water, that distillation process upon when we die and we transmigrate to the other side, to the next phase, right? Water is that intermediary that our soul travels upon, right? So I find that extremely fascinating and corresponding to this presentation. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate everyone's time and attention. Again, you can also check out my work at the onegreatworknetwork.com. This is a network of truth speakers on talking about what's going on in the world and how to create true freedom. And over 75 content creators. So the One Great Work Network, 24-hour player. Highly recommend people go and check this out. There's some fantastic content creators on there doing some excellent work. Oops. So, and I'm also on there under Will Keller. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Again, go to my website, willkeller.com. I'm going to end this presentation with a song that we've had on the Funnel Conference by Diesel Automatic. It's called Freedom Under Natural Law. I appreciate you guys, and you guys take care. All right, I'll see you next time. 2024 is going to be big. I got some really big plans coming up, so make sure to subscribe or contact me with any questions, and you can do that through my website, willkeller.com. Appreciate you guys.
Freedom is inherent because it's evident. It doesn't come from government. It don't come from the president. It comes from the creator of all universal elements. Some people say it's God-given. Others say it's heaven-sent. No matter what you call it, natural law sets the precedent. Subjective morality's a fallacy. There's laws that we cannot see, like gravity, that people accept happily, but tragically they believe that freedom has to be granted to them magically by royalty or majesty. It's sad to see people willingly give up their liberty because they don't really see the enemy that's on a killing spree. The state, it hates sovereign individuals because those who follow natural law and abide by all its principles are mentally invincible, immune to the brainwash. We liberate ourselves and then help others break the chains off. We ain't soft, we go hard like when the thunder hits. Guns and clips ready in self-defense from the government and the elitists running it. Blast them all, claim our freedom standing under it. Natural law, the elitists running it. Blast them all, claim our freedom standing under it. Natural law, freedom under natural law. For us all, yeah, freedom under natural law. For us all, yeah, freedom under natural law. For us all, what? for us all. What? Freedom for us all. What? You know what we do. Get big on FUNL.